Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Troy McKnight coming at you from Dallas, Texas. Hope you guys having a freaking awesome Friday. Some people said thank God it's Friday, but me and Dr. Breakthrough, we look at every day as a Friday. But anyway, if this is your first time actually tuning into one of my Facebook lives, I actually come over here Monday through Saturday. A lot of times I bring, my special friends with me, and our goal is, and our mission is to help people actually take their life to a whole nother level. I don't care if you're in a home business space. I don't care if you got a traditional business. I don't care if you're in corporate America. We just want to see you win, because guess what? We truly believe that you got it in you. Today, I got my friend Dr. Breakthrough. He's going to give you 8 tips on how to take your business and your life to a whole freaking other level, especially if you're in the home business profession. So you most definitely want to take some notes. If you're looking at the replay, let us know where you're checking us out at. And if you're looking at it live, let us know where you're checking it out at. We're on Facebook. We're on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn, and we're on YouTube. Let's bring it, Dr. Breakthrough.
All righty, man. Hey. It's a privilege and a pleasure, a treat and a treasure, a joy beyond measure to be with you. I appreciate you and all that you do to make a difference in people's lives. And man, TGIF, to me, it stands for the grind includes Friday. Come on, somebody. So, yeah, sir. So, building businesses. And somebody asked me today how things going. I said, man, business is booming and checks are zooming. I'm happy on purpose, But I've been blessed to be at the top of 9 different companies, home-based businesses. And so we primarily do training now. But one of the things that in any business, and by the way, I teach, Troy, as you know, transcendent principles. So anybody in any kind of business, especially obviously home-based business, network marketing, but it applies. Matter of fact, it applies even to relationships. It applies to a church or whatever, it just applies. So just up front, though, just so people know that, I believe that the Bible is the greatest source of all truth. And so a lot of times I make reference to the Bible. So I'm also a martial artist. And so I make a lot of martial arts references. As a matter of fact, you probably can see some of the trophies here. There's just a few of the trophies there, right? So, and I tell people as a champion, I train champions. By the way, there's a big difference between a competitor. Oh, I was having fun with somebody the other day. Let me throw this in and we'll get started on these. But a difference between a competitor and a champion. And would you like to know the difference between the two?
Yeah, what's the difference? Bring it.
Well, a competitor competes and a champion wins. Oh,
yeah, there you go. You're dropping it already. They don't even know they in for a treat. We just getting started.
See, Muhammad Ali said it's almost impossible to beat somebody whose mind is made up on winning. And we got too many people to try not to lose as opposed to focusing on how to win. So I'm going to talk about, one of my books, because I kept, building these big teams. And the biggest team we built was a team of 1.5 million. I personally sponsored 988 people, and it blossomed to 1.5 million members worldwide.
Hey, hold on for a minute. How many people was that? You said 100?
988.
No, I'm saying how big was that team?
Oh, 1.5 million people worldwide.
So hey, before we get into it, this is somebody you most definitely want to listen to. I mean, so if you're in the home business space, you want to take your business to the next level, you most definitely want to look. I mean, you need to listen to Dr. Breakthrough. And if you're not following him, you most definitely want to follow him on Facebook. Go ahead, brother.
Well, and one of the things I tell people, the greatest thing about it is I never even thought I could have a team of 10,000, right? And I still remember years ago I was sharing it with somebody today, hearing people speaking. I was like, man, I don't know how they do that. I'll never be able to do that. I mean, and especially the guys that don't use notes like that, like there's no way I could do that. And as long as I taught that way, there was no way, right? Because see, if you think you are beaten, you are. And if you think you dare not, you won't. If you like to win but think you can, it's almost a cinch you won't. If you think you will lose, you've already lost. For this powerful truth we find, success begins with a person's will. It's all a state of mind. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger woman or man. Sooner or later, those who win are those who first think and then know that they can. And that's one of the things I love about you and your lovely wife and what y'all do is you're also empowering other people to know that they can. But again, there was a time I didn't. So I want people to understand this. And so I had to understand this. If somebody else was succeeding, if I would get me a mentor and learn what they learn and implement what they implement, I could then have similar results. And that's what changed my life. So I want to talk about, because people can say, man, how do you build these teams like this? And matter of fact, at one point, I was a #1 income earner and #1 recruiter in 3 companies simultaneously, back when everybody was saying, oh, you can only do one thing. So I always tell my wife, don't tell them what we're doing. We don't want to mess up their mentality. But here's what I believe. I believe any boundary that God didn't set was made to be broken. Oh, let me
Wow.
say it again.
Whoa.
Any boundary that God did not set was made to be broken. So we got to get busy breaking, my friend. So I'm going to give people 8 principles or 8 keys that'll help you either to create momentum, because that's, or recreate momentum. But go ahead, you were going to say something.
Yeah, but I want people to really grab hold to what you just said in the beginning. If you believe it, you can achieve it. Like even me, Dr. Breakthrough, I mean, man, and you're going to attract the people in your life that's going to help you do it. I mean, just like me and you. I mean, we friends now. It came through Facebook. I saw you at a barbecue place. And I tell people all the time that right now I'm on a 7-figure run. And when I said 7 figures, I'm not talking about 7 figures a year. I'm talking about 7 figures a month. So you got to think big. If you believe it, you will achieve it. But people don't understand that, because they don't understand what you're trying to sow into them. In order to get to that level, think about all the people's lives you had to change. Over a million something people on your team. It ain't necessarily about the money. It's about the lives you're gonna change. So go on and go into them 8 tips. I really want people to grab hold of that, because a lot of people miss it. They chase the money, but they're not looking at the impact that they're gonna make in other people's lives. So take it away, Dr. Breakthrough.
Well, again, so thank you. But I ended up writing a book called How to Build a Big Team Fast. And of course, I have a website, howtobuildabigteamfast.com. But here's the thing. But in that book, I talk about there's an M that's more important than money. And the danger, as you just mentioned, if you go after money, then you might miss this other M. However, if you get this other M down, the money, you couldn't stop it if you wanted to. And the M is the word momentum, as we've been talking about. And so here's what I want you to understand. Money, get this, any business, a church, because I speak in churches, but any venture, if you can create momentum, get this now, momentum creates progress, excitement, transformation, and transformation of money. So again, once you create momentum, you're going to create progress, money, excitement, transformation that comes. So the key then is, okay, how do we create this momentum? That's what people kept asking me, man. How do you keep building these big teams, but not just building them big, building them fast? My wife and I, we were out walking early this morning, and I was talking about, man, I remember a time when I found this jacket from a company I used to work for back in 2006 that hired me to be a speaker trainer, and they didn't know it at the time. I was homeless. Okay, let me back up. Y'all didn't hear. Say it again.
Hey, you got to tell them that again. They missed that.
Listen, I had all my eggs on one basket. It was a good basket, but it collapsed, left me homeless. I talk about, for years I wouldn't even talk. I wouldn't even let people know this for many, many years, because I was so, I was like, man, I was embarrassed. Then one day it dawned on me, my brokenness tends to be a better bridge than my pretend wholeness ever was. Let me say that again. My brokenness tends to be a better bridge than my pretend wholeness ever was. See, everybody already knows how to deal with doing well. How do you deal with doing bad, right? So at one of the worst times in my life, I was homeless. Thank God I had a friend that had a trailer, let me stay in the trailer. But I was homeless. And guess what? I was not just homeless, I was carless, right? You heard some people, well, man, they're homeless, but they live in their car, like, Steve Harvey for many years, right? I ain't had no car to sleep in, bro, right? So homeless is bad, carless is worse. And then one more thing. Are you ready? It got a little worse. I was not just homeless. That? I was not just carless. I was phoneless.
What's that again? Phoneless. You didn't have a phone?
Bro. I mean, nowadays, even the kids got, I'm hearing that. You hear that music?
No, I don't hear no music.
Okay. All right. I just want to I heard something here. Let me see. Let me make sure it's not on my end. Okay. There you go. Make sure it's not on my end. Okay. I heard something start. I was like, wow, what, somebody's trying to, get into our conversation here. But yeah, so homeless, carless, and phoneless, right? I mean, now little kids have phones, but back then, 2005, 2005, beginning 2006, phones weren't as like everybody has it now. I mean, little kids, grandparents, everybody's got it, right? But it didn't matter. I didn't have the money to have it anyway, right? And everything, I had everything tied in, and my car was with the company I was wearing. And I was like, hey, look, and everything with it. So, but I would walk around saying this: I'm a rich man that happens to be. Yes, sir. You froze up. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Okay, I
Am
hear
I
you now.
good?
I see you now.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good now. Okay. So I said I would walk around saying to myself, I'm a rich man that happens to be low on cash, but God and I are changing that fast. Let me say it again. I said, I'm a rich man that happens to be low on cash, but my God and I were changing that fast. And so I got a call from a
Whoa.
guy. I said, man, I've been trying to find you, man. I said, so somebody told me you got a new number or something. Well, it wasn't my number. It was a little trailer I was staying in, had a little landline. The guy said, man, I've been trying to get hold. He said, man, this company, back then I was in Pennsylvania and the company was here in Dallas where now I live. But he said, man, and I got them, they're gonna hire you as their international training director. I said, okay, I'll take it. He said, no, I didn't even tell you what the parameters were. I was like, don't worry, bro. And of course, he didn't know my situation. He didn't need to know, right? But I said, no, I'll take it. And he said, well, they're going to pay you $5,000 per speech. We're going to send you on the tour. And I said, okay, well, how soon do they want me? He said, next weekend. He said, then they'll take care of all your expenses, which I'm glad because I couldn't have gotten there. Right. So again, if you're in a messed up place in your life, it's okay, man. My main message is every master was once a mess, or at best mediocre. Therefore, every mess or mediocre person can one day be a master. So it's okay. It's not where you are. It's where you're focused on getting to, my friend. That's what's most important. And what people don't understand is behind the glory, there's usually always a story. And sometimes the story's so gory, they don't always want to tell you. But I'm going to just tell you, my friend. So anyway, but again, this is fresh in my mind.
But before we go, I really want people to grab hold of that because somebody looking at this, and it might be you, whoever looking at this, that might be in a messed up situation right now. You know, maybe you're going through some challenges, maybe you're going through some big adversities, and you don't know how you're going to get out of that situation. But guess what? Just like Dr. Breakthrough said, on the other side of your biggest struggle is your biggest blessing. And then, you know, the most powerful thing about that, you're going to be able to share your story just like he shared his story to be able to empower somebody else to go for it. I mean, look at Dr. Breakthrough now, built a team over 1 million and something people, you know, international speaker, you know, been speaking on stage with people like Les Brown and stuff like that, and inspiring others to go after their greatness. So take it away, Dr. Breakthrough. I just want them to grab hold of that because a lot of people these days are going through stuff. They don't understand. Their biggest breakthrough is on the other side of that. Take it away,
yes.
brother.
And sometimes your undeniable breakthrough only comes after an overwhelming breakdown. The greatest book ever. The greatest book ever written says, "Unless a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it'll bring forth much fruit." So again, your undeniable breakthrough usually only comes after your overwhelming breakdown. And so the difference is most people give up and throw in the towel. So again, but at that time I'm realizing, and again, partly because of, you know, my mentors, and one of my main mentors back then, Bill Bailey, and I paid all this money to talk with him and take his courses and all this. And one of the things I'd asked him, what's the worst day of your life? He said, is when I lost 12 million. I said, you had 12 to lose? But he said, I said, well, what happened? He said, well, here's what I figured. If I made it before, he said, I could make it again, but I could make it even faster, because he said, the first time I did it, I'd never done it before, so I didn't know if I could. Now that I've already done it, I know which ways don't work and which ways do. So not only can I do it again, but I can do it faster with less effort. And that always stuck in my mind. And so when that situation hit me, I was like, oh man, I ain't gonna be here long. I'm getting up out of this. I mean, you know, because if I did it before, I can do it again. So this again, so to say, we want to pay you $5,000 per speech, blah, blah, blah. And so the guy also said to me, hey, listen, at the first place I went to speak, he said, you know, I know you don't want to build anything, but he said, you're going to be just a trainer, but can I pay to put a spot in for you? And if people come here, you speak, if they want to join this deal, just send them to me and I'll put them in. You don't have to worry about it. I said, okay. Well, you know, people start showing up to hear me speak, and they're like, hey, doc, are you in this deal? I said, well, talk to Dave. He you know, he understands the thing. I'm just training and speaking, whatever. And so he put them in the deal, whatever, underneath me. So make a long story short, I started getting, you know, the checks I was getting for speaking, which was good. And then I started getting these other checks, and I was like, hey, Dave, other checks is getting pretty good, man. What I got to do to get a bigger check? And so I slowed down, let him tell me, explain to me about the comp plan and everything else. And so, you know, I was like, well, let me go ahead and put into practice because I like this and I like what they're doing. Let me go ahead and do it. And literally, now listen carefully. Now remember, when he calls me, I'm homeless, right? I'm phoneless, I'm carless, right? So I get a call. They're going to pay me $5,000 a speech. So I'm doing this little tour, and I'm thinking, God, they paying for my hotels and everything, you know what I mean? And then pay me these $5,000. I was like, yes, yes. But now people are joining this team also. And so now I start focusing on building a team while I'm speaking. And say, let me hear you say 4.5 months later.
4.5 months later.
4.5
months later. 4.5 months later.
I was making 25 grand per week.
Woo!
Not month. 25 grand per week, which is $100,000 per month. So I wasn't homeless anymore. I wasn't carless. I wasn't phoneless. Come on, somebody. Matter of fact, got me a big,
so
beautiful
how long
place.
did it take you again? How long did it take you? 4 years?
No, 4.5 months. See, when you get to, listen, I'm telling you, my friend, 4.5 months, right? And so I built a team of 22,898 people, from 0 to 22,898 people in 4.5 months, right? And so again, but what I'm saying is, and so we went on to work with other companies, and like I said, the greatest success we had in 6.5 years, personally sponsoring 988 people that turned into 1.5 million people. As a matter of fact, one day we had where 10,000 people, believe it or not, I wouldn't believe it probably if you told me, but I had to believe it because I was there. 10,000 people joined my team in one day, and it broke the servers for the company. That's how, I mean, it was crazy. So watch this. Here's what I'm saying, all that to say this though. People started begging me, man, you gotta teach us on this. You gotta write a book. So I wrote a book but the main thing about the book is creating momentum. Here's what I found out, Troy. If you could create momentum, and in some cases you got to recreate it because the companies change their comp plan, or your major leaders leave, and get a shiny object syndrome and go somewhere else, right? So Here's the things I found out. Number one is called conviction. Write this down. Keys to creating momentum. Number one is conviction. See, most people don't have a real conviction. See, a conviction is a strong belief that affects you to the point, like the Bible says in 2 Corinthians 4:13, it says, I believed, therefore have I spoken. We also believe and therefore speak. Now, hold on one second. Hold on. And again, I'm not a religious person. I got a relationship with the living God, right? So just like I quote Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, I'm going to quote the greatest book ever written, where those guys got it from, even though they don't know. But anyway, here's what I'm saying. Watch this. He said, I believed, therefore have I spoken. Now, we also believe and therefore speak. When you see the word therefore, always look to see what goes before. In other words, I believe. I had a conviction. So watch this. Because I had this conviction, I had to speak. And when I spoke, watch this now, I spoke with such conviction that the people that heard me, they became convinced to the point they started speaking. So what I found out, the problem in this industry is too many people, we're trying to get people to do things instead of believe some things. Oh, this is good right here. Yep. See, you can do things without believing them and you won't get the right result. But if you believe something, even if they don't teach you the right message, you'll create the results to make it happen, my friend. So it's even better when you teach you the belief system and give you the methods, right? So here's what I'm saying. So here's what he's saying, because a lot of times people say to me, man, but you are so convincing. And I was like, wrong. I'm not convincing. I don't try to convince people, but I'm convinced. So because I'm convinced, when I speak from a place of conviction. And when I speak from a place of conviction, people that hear me are convinced, but they're not convinced because I'm trying to convince them. They're convinced because I'm conveying what I believe from a standpoint of conviction. Right? And so people say, oh, facts tell, stories sell. No, Dr. Breakthrough puts it better. Facts tell, testimonials sell. Come on, somebody. So a testimonial is I was here and I got to hear, right? So every business, I said, man, I have a conviction, and so I gotta get this out, but I gotta create a story, a testimonial that I can sell and tell. Go ahead, sir.
Well, I mean, that's powerful within inside itself, and a lot of people miss that. That conviction, and you bleed. So we're not convincing people to do anything. It's just that we come across that we believe and we know that what we fit to do. It's like at that point where it took you 4.5 months to create that, right? Dr. Breakthrough, right. If you didn't believe it, if you didn't believe in yourself, guess what? It would have never happened. And that's what we want you to take away from this as we get into this. You have to believe it. It all starts with you. If I'm talking to Dr. Breakthrough and I'm saying, hey, man, come and join me, please. I'm going to do this. Guess what? You don't even believe because you ain't saying it the right way. But if you talk to him and he can feel that energy, or you talking to your prospect and they feel that energy, guess what? They'll join your team. It happens to me almost every week now. Because when I talk to them, just like he said, my belief, not convincing them to do it, they just feel my energy and be like, hey, you know what? Wherever Dr. Breakthrough going, wherever Troy going, I want to go. And that's the way you got to go with it. Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. So, and one of the greatest ways of getting conviction, obviously, is by having a testimonial of that product or service, or even from the comp plan, something that changed your life that gives you a deep conviction. It's not just your experience, but sometimes it's your expertise, right? But something that can help you have a deep conviction. And here's one of the convictions you got to have, and that is this. Now, again, this is my conviction. You people, you can have your own, but I'm saying you got to have something. But here's my conviction: God wants to. God wants to affect people's lives, and He wants to use me to do it. So when I'm talking to people, see, it ain't just me. I'm believing I put on Facebook the other day a picture of a lioness with a powerful, male lion behind her, and I had a picture of me, my wife, with me standing behind her, and it says she doesn't care so much about what's in front of her. She's more concerned because of who's behind her. So what in front of her doesn't bother us. And so here's what I say: when you know that God's behind you, when you know that you have something, a product that could change people's lives, when you know you have a compensation plan that can change people's lives, help keep people out of bankruptcy, when you know you have something that can help change the world. I think it was Steve Jobs that said people crazy enough to change the world are usually those who believe they can. Right? Yep. So here's the thing, man. When you have that conviction, see, and again, the more that you hear the presentation, the more that you try the product, the service, the more, my friend, the stronger your conviction. And the more you get around others with a conviction, their conviction rubs off on you, my friend. But I'm telling you, make no bones about it. You don't have to be great at speaking. You don't have to be great in all these methods. If you have a strong enough conviction, it will get done, my friend, and it will create momentum. Because again, they said, dude, how do you build these big teams and build them so fast? Well, first of all, because I have a conviction. I believe that what I'm doing is the right thing to do. And I believe that there's people that will follow me, my friend. And then it's not just conviction, but get this, it's consistency. Ooh, write that down, consistency. Wow. You know what I found out, Troy? Some people, they start off with a strong conviction, but they're not consistent. Right? Here's what I found out. If you're consistently day in and day out, just get this now, just talking to people, right? Just talking to people, day in and day. It's that consistency, like you doing a Facebook Live. I think you said you took a challenge to start doing a live every day, and you end up going to the top of your company, right? Because you not just had a conviction about what you were doing, but then when you got super consistent, that's the difference. But here's what most people, they're in and they're out. They're on fire for a little bit and then they're back out. No, consistency. And consistency, here's the way I say this, and here's what champions, here's what we do. We do it when we feel like it. We do it when we don't feel like it. We just keep doing it until we do feel like it. Come on, say something there.
Yeah, I mean, that's so powerful, Dr. Breakthrough. It's just like, and I challenge people all the time. Because just being consistent, that stops a lot of people from creating any level of success. They don't understand, in order to create momentum, you got to be consistent. You build huge teams, and in the beginning, it's a lot of work. It's like a rocket. You're going to put in all that work. You're going to see little results. But eventually, guess what? It's going to explode, and you're not going to be working as hard, but the checks are going to be bigger because the impact is going to be bigger. The product is good. The service is good. More people are going to be on it. But it's a lot of work. I mean, most people won't be consistent enough in the beginning to create the momentum. Go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, see, Proverbs 28:20 says, a faithful man, again, we're not talking religion here. We're talking about principles. A faithful man shall abound with blessing. The word abound is a picture of a cup that's being filled overflow. And see, I like when my cup runs over, the saucer gets some. And if it keeps running over, the tablecloth gets some. So watch this. So being consistent, being faithful. And here's the thing. Faithfulness always precedes fruitfulness. See, people want to be fruitful, but they don't be faithful. No, if you're faithful, the fruit will eventually come. So you can't just have a conviction, then you have to be consistent. But guess what? If you have a deep enough conviction, that'll keep you consistent. Ooh, that's good. And then number 3, real quick. Number 3, so 8 different keys. But number 3, if you want to build momentum, because once you build the momentum, you can't stop the money from coming. But if you go after the money first, you'll get what I call sidetrack. You might be tempted to do something out of integrity, out of character, or you may get discouraged because oftentimes the money doesn't come as fast as you. But just creating the momentum. Once you create that, now you can't even stop the money from coming. So not just the conviction, the consistency, but watch this, compassion. You've heard it said, they don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. And here's the thing, my friend, people want to know, and as a person that's going to be a person of influence, your favorite radio station has to be WIIFT. And that is what's in it for them. Every time you talk to them about your product, it's always about what it does for them, right? And so but you got to show that compassion. So it was one guy, I was a top earner at one company, and the owner and I would fly around a corporate jet. He had written this book, Guaranteed Prospects, and he would speak first and then have me speak. He said, now, our next speaker, Dr. Stan, we call him Dr. Breakthrough. He's the only guy that doesn't need my book. He said, this guy can recruit people at will. He can sell ice to an Eskimo. And I'd say, well, I appreciate those kind words, but I don't think Eskimos need ice. However, if they want it, I want them to buy it from me before they get it from Troy. Yeah. but I said, and I can't recruit people at will. I said, here's what I do. I watch people carefully and I listen carefully. And when you hear people talk about their struggles and you see where they're struggling, I just present my product or service. Here's the key now. In light of its problem-solving capabilities. So I'm not really a salesperson per se. I'm more of a problem solver. However, when I help solve people's problems, they have a tendency to buy my product and service, not get paid, and I deserve to get paid. But man, if you got a health product and people got health problems, and you got compassion and care about them, eventually they're going to listen to you, my friend. I'm saying if you have something that can solve problems, and you come to people with compassion and you talk to them based on what it can do for them, I'm telling you, they pick up on, man, this guy really cares. And when you're consistent, when you have a conviction, you're consistent, you have compassion, oh, listen, it won't be long, the momentum starts to kick in. Shall I move on?
Keep moving.
The next thing is communication. It's communication. And see, your communication has to be clear, it has to be concise, and it has to be congruent. Let me go back there again. It has to be clear and it has to be concise. See, here's what happens. Most people think the more you say, the more they want to hear. No. The more you say, the less they want to hear. The less you say, the more they want to hear. So you got to learn to come up with sound bites, powerful little sound bites that'll grab people's attention, right? And but then you can't just have communications. It can't just be clear. It can't just be concise. It has to be congruent. In other words, what you say here has to be backed up from what you live here. I like to jokingly say to people, actually, I'm serious, but it makes people laugh. I say your walk talks and your talk talks, but your walk talks louder than your talk talks, and your walk speaks so loud I can't hear a word you say. Right? So we got to get congruent, my friend. And so when you really are compassionate about people, it's not trying to talk like when you're really compassionate, then when you speak these words, my friend, they feel the pathos, they feel it, my friend. And so again, you got to be, and that's why constantly, my friend, every person in business should be taking some kind of public speaking course or something to learn how to better your communication. Now, next thing real quick is contests. I call this so contest with a little competition and celebration. Okay, so having some kind of contest with a little bit of competition, and A.L. Williams was great at this, man. He would have his people and then having that celebration. Because there's something about a contest that makes people pull out the stops, and especially then when you can make them have a little friendly competition, right? But then you have a celebration. So when they do something or accomplish something, you're celebrating them. And so I like to put it this way: recognition. Babies cry for it, teenagers lie for it, some women will vie for it, and most men will die for it, right? To be recognized. And so with your company or with your team or with your group or whatever you're doing, my friend, I'm telling you, you got to have some kind of contest with some competition and then a celebration. And that is going to just cause people, man, to just kick in the high gear. If you want to have anything to say on that, then I'll move on after that.
No, I mean, that's powerful within inside itself because, one of my mentors used to always say, people join for the money, but they stay because of the feeling. I mean, so contesting stuff is the key, and like you said, small wins, because that's going to help you create momentum. I mean, it really is. It's going to motivate people. People go crazy to walk across the stage just to get a trophy. I mean, they do. They care about that more than they care about making money, a lot of them. So take it away, Dr. Breakthrough.
Yes, yes, yes. So then the next thing is number 6, commitment. Commitment. See, now conviction's one thing, and that's great, and then consistency, and then compassion, communication, and contest, and so. But the commitment literally is like, I'll be here. The commitment is, I'm going to support you. The commitment. See, the greatest book ever written says, be ye therefore steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, as long as you know your labor is not in vain. And so listen, you got to, like when I start a new business, I usually tell my wife, well, baby, just give me 90 days, right? Give me just 90 days and I'm going to make something, create such a crazy story. But a lot of times when I start a business, I'll stay up for all night the first night. I'm listening to all the videos. I'm watching all this stuff over and over again. Why? Because the more I watch it, the stronger I get a conviction about this company, this product, this service, this comp plan, this cause, whatever they're doing, right? And so I never forget the one that I built to 1.5 million. I told my wife, I said, "No, baby, I'm gonna be up all night." And she's like, "Baby, you see?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I got to create a testimonial, facts tell testimonial sale. And when I create this testimonial, it's gonna be crazy." Well, then the second night, I was like, "Baby," she's like, "You're going to be up all night again?" I said, "Baby, I'm telling you, but trust me, it's going to pay off though," right? 3 nights in a row, I was up all night. But I created such a crazy story in 3 days with that company that I would use that testimonial that I created. And that's, like I said, 6.5 years later, that testimonial empowered me to recruit 988 people that blossomed into 1.5 million. Man, and again, I'm not advocating that you have to do this. I'm just telling you this is what I did, but I'm just saying this, my friend. You gotta have some kind of commitment, though.
But I just want to stop you there, Dr. Breakthrough, because I've studied the industry and I studied so many 7-figure earners, right? It's always 900, 1,000, 1,500 people they recruited. I mean, most of them went through over 3,000 no's. So I always tell people, how many no's are you willing to go through? Because if you think you're in the business and you want to create a full-time income in this business, let's just be real. You're not going to recruit just 3 people. You're not going to recruit just 10 people. You're probably not going to recruit 100 people unless you're already a person of influence. You're going to have to actually get a lot of people involved. That's just them numbers. I mean, 900 and something people, them true numbers. So, you guys want us to be real with you. If you're looking to actually really create some real results in this industry and something that's going to create a real residual income and something that's going to completely change your life, you got to be ready to work. Go ahead, right. Dr.
Yes. And so the commitment, like once I make up my mind to do something, God will orchestrate circumstances to align themselves in my favor. When I say I can't, my mind stops trying. But when I ask, how can I? My mind keeps searching till it finds a way. There is a way, and I will find it. And if not, I'll invent it. See, when you have that kind of commitment, see, nothing can resist the human will, which will stake even its existence on the extent of its purpose, my friend. I'm telling you, when you have that commitment, and so many people, my friend, they don't really have that deep commitment level. So that's why they don't see this. But when you have that deep commitment, my friend, and you're there, people know, I'm telling you, my friend, the sun rises in the east, sets in the west, the Pope's a Catholic, and he's doing this thing. He's committed to this thing. He goes, right? And then real quick, number 7 is collaboration. See, most people will never be their own CEO, or most people won't be a CFO or COO. But because of a home-based business and this industry, everybody can get to be what I call a CLO, and that stands for Chief Leveraging Officer. See, Archimedes said, if I had a lever long enough and a prop strong enough, he said I could single-handedly move the world. Well, guess what? You don't have to do it single-handedly when you have other people that you connect with that have conviction, other people that have that consistency. Listen, all of a sudden now you collaborate. See, 1 and 1, get this now, 1 plus 1 is 2, but 1 and 1 is 11. And addition can never catch up to multiplication. So when I can connect with other like-minded, powerful people, my friend, and even those who are not yet walking into their power, but I know that I'm going to be able to empower them to do so, or the company, the compensation plan, the methods, the personal development, and all that we have is going to help them, my friend, then watch this. Now we're able to get so much more done. The greatest book ever written says 1 to chase 1,000, 2 will put 10,000 to flight. So my acronym for team Well, most people heard the acronym TEAM, together everyone achieves more, but my acronym is TEAM, together everyone accumulates money. Hey, come on, somebody. See, I don't make money off of people with my teams. I always make money with people. Come on, my friend, by helping solve the problems of others. So collaboration, my friend, you have to, instead of this upline, downline, no. Collaborate as a team. See, I'm looking for partners. I'm looking for business partners. I'm not looking for somebody to be on my quote unquote downline. No, I'm looking for business partners. People are like, wow, yeah, I want to be a partner with you, Dr. Breakthrough. And then lastly, a cause. Number 8, a cause. You got to have a cause. In 1 Samuel chapter 17, the story of David, verse 25 through 29, it was amazing. He's walking by and he hears them talk. And they say, whoever kills Goliath is, number 1, the king's going to give him great riches. Number 2, he and his father's household will never have to pay taxes again. And then number 3, he's going to give the king is going to give that person, that man, his wife, his daughter to wife. So in other words, you'll be rich, you'll never have to pay taxes, and you will get a wife, but not just a wife, you'll be part of the royal family. Wow. After David, he said, wait. It's right in the scripture. See, most people don't talk about this. He says, tell me again what shall be done for the man who kills. Then after that, he says, is there not a cause? I got a cause. I'm ready to be rich, man. I got a cause. I'm tired of paying taxes. I got a cause. I want a wife. I got a cause. I'm ready to be part of royalty. I got a cause. I'm not going to let that guy talk about my God like this. Is there not a cause? And my friend, you got to get involved with some company, some that has a concept, that has a cause bigger than just making money, a cause bigger than just, it's got to be a cause. It's got to be changing the world, changing lives. And so, my friend, when you have a cause and when you have your team or your company, my friend, rally behind a cause, that will help create momentum like nothing else, because now it causes people to step outside of their own comfort zone and start getting things done. So you don't want to just be part of a company with a good idea. You want a company that has a God idea. Oh, come on, somebody. Wow. And so it's going to create some crazy momentum. These things, my friend, will change any business. These things will create momentum. Or if your team has been dying out or your company's dying, it can recreate momentum. I've done it with many companies. I'll never forget one company I joined. I didn't know they were going through a lawsuit, and all the top earners, all the top people, they were all discouraged. And I came in there and I started breaking records left and right. And literally my fire resurged and revigorated. And I only know this because the president of the company told me, literally all the other folks in the company. You know why? Because I was new, I was fresh. And I said, man, y'all got something that can change the world, man. Do you understand? People got to have this. But see, they were so focused on going through the lawsuits and the attorney general and this problem and that problem. I didn't know anything about that, man. All I knew was everybody needs one of these things. Yeah. And so then they made a mistake and told me, I wanted a Lincoln Navigator. They said, well, we have a luxury bonus car program. You can get any vehicle you want. You lease it and we give you the payments up to $800 a month. Well, man, 800, you can get some. So anyway, make a long story short, man, I was like, tell me what I got to do and I'll do it. And they told me and I did it in record time, so, but anyway, I'm saying, but I had a cause though. I said, man, because I know this thing could change people's lives, but now you're going to reward me for getting the news out. Oh man, y'all done told the wrong brother. Y'all better watch out. It's on. But I'm telling you, my friend, Troy, it doesn't matter what educational level a person is on. If they use these 8 keys, a key of conviction, right? If they use these 8 keys, a key of consistency. If they use these keys, a key of compassion. By the way, I often say to people, if I'm willing to dedicate part of my life to your success, would you allow me to empower you or would you fight against me? And they always say, well, man, I wouldn't fight against you. I'm like, well, okay, well, let's get you started, right? But they got to sense that compassion and that commitment. So you got to use the key of communication, the key of contest, the key of commitment, the key, my friend, of collaboration, and the key of a cause. These 8 things, matter of fact, sometimes just 1 or 2 of these alone will do it. But you get all 8 of those together, you better watch out. You might end up messing up and building a team of 1.5 million like I did.
So you know what, Dr. Breakthrough, we're going to wrap this up, but I hope you guys really took away from that. I mean, really, he just gave you 8 keys to actually explode your business. Not only your business, but any type of business, especially in the home business arena, profession. I mean, because that is it. I mean, them are the 8 keys, all of them. So Hey, don't forget, wherever you're tuning in from, let us know. But if you're not following Dr. Stan, Dr. Breakthrough, you most definitely want to follow them on Facebook. You want to follow them on Instagram. And for my people on LinkedIn, you want to look them up on LinkedIn. And with that, guys, hey, God bless. And I will most definitely see somebody, mostly, hopefully all you guys tomorrow. Hey, you guys have an awesome Friday evening.
All right. Thank you.